It says live now. Okay. Supposedly live. That conditionally live. I always wait until people show up before I actually believe that it's live, but it says it. Just never sure if it means it. But until then, I'm gonna sit here and worry like I do. Is anyone gonna show up this time? Maybe, possibly. Ah, there we are. We have people. We have at least a couple of people, which means I am not talking to myself anymore. So that does help my sense of self. Welcome in, everyone. And for those people who are going to be slowly trickling in here as things start ramping through, it is 8 a.m. on the west coast of the United States. It'd be 7 a.m. for Alaska. I think it's 6 a.m. for Hawaii. And then it's like afternoonish across the pond, that is the Atlantic, to our friends over in Europe, the Europe area, the Europa continent. I'm, and I am never quite sure of the exchange to Australia. That's that's the one I always have time with. I always have a hard time with. So I can't remember that shift. So hopefully we also have some Australians here. I don't know. We will find out together as life goes on. So welcome in everyone. It is March 2026. We have made it through yet another month of the debacle that are the 2020s. Congratulations. You are still above ground and breathing. That is what people keep telling me to be happy for. Um, Seen a lot of other bad things happen for friends and family. So I have to hope that the 2020s die sooner than the decade ends because good fucking gods. Well, let's go ahead and get to why everyone is actually here, which is book related news. Of course, we had a month and a half ago, we had Antecedents 6. Was it Antecedents 6? I think it was. Come out. I lose track of things. That's why I have spreadsheets normally. Uh, it did what Antecedents does, right in line with the rest of the series. No big ups, no big downs. Things will continue. Um, I honestly expect 2 to 3 more books in that series before it comes to the ending I want. So we will see what happens. And of course, coming up here in another, what, 16, 17 days, we have Aethers, as you can see there. Aethers 12. Aethers band, yes, there have been a lot of jokes about what kind of band, mariachi, marching, and so on. If you go and look at the cover, because the pre order is up, you will realize that it is a completely different type of band and doesn't deal with music at all. In fact, there is a double play on band there that doesn't involve music. So hopefully people will enjoy that. I know that there have been a lot of people wondering um, if this is the book where things start advancing rapidly. I would caution you to temper that expectation going in. And I don't want spoilers, so I will leave it there. For those people who absolutely want to see some of the book ahead of time, Patreon will be getting their early chapters, I think, up to the 30th, and then I have to make sure chapters come down so I can publish the book without running afoul of Amazon's KDP rules. So there is that for those who really want that those extra chapter those words are hard apparently first thing in the morning. An early look at those chapters. Good God, life is and me having a hard time talking. So yeah, yeah. Andy is currently recording. I think like the last 10 chapters of Antecedents. I think she's finishing today or tomorrow, and then that's all in Podium's hands. But with their normal turnaround time, I'm gonna say May or June probably before we see that one come out. Their turnaround time is not very fast. Um, so that is that is that. And then of course you can see Heavenly Chaos 5 down there, Delving and Dating, set for June 1st. I am still holding to my every other month, which is why we get an April 1st book release, which I have to make sure people understand, know that I am not fucking with you. That is literally a book release. That was the downside to releasing on the even months, is that April 1st is an even month. If I had done the odds, it wouldn't have been a problem, but I decided I was going to do the evens, and it wasn't until I had settled on that the realization that April 1st could be construed as a joke happened. So yeah, there's that. There is, of course, for those people who are wondering, the convention. God, this is gonna be a day. This is gonna be a day. The one convention I am doing for the year is going to be the Lit RPG Con in Denver, the second weekend of July. There are the dates. Yes, I will be there. Yes, I help sponsor it. Yes, I will have things to give away. So if you are going to be there, make sure to come by the table. I'm going to have things that I'm going to hand to people, and there is currently talks about maybe doing some kind of ticket raffle for other odds and ends that I just want to make sure fans get. So, fans who come by and pick up a ticket for a raffle will have a chance to win something. That is currently what we're hoping on at the moment. Not this year, Archeron. This is their 40th year. It's going to be big. It's going to be crazy, and I am skipping the fuck out of it. I should be back the following year, but I am not going this year. Just because it's a major anniversary for them. It's one of the 10s. I always look at those as it's going to be crazier than normal. And honestly, especially this year, I only have the bandwidth for one convention, so I'm doing Lit RPG this year. And then in 27, I will be doing both. And then after that, I will be looking at um, what works best for me, because 2 conventions a year is really like pushing my threshold. I might continue to do that, or I'll just be cutting it back to 1, but it's really going to depend on um, how each convention keeps going. DragonCon is old. It's steady. I know what I'm getting into. There's tens of thousands or 100,000 plus people there. I'm really hoping that RPGCon keeps ramping up, because I would like to stay very genre adjacent, but we will see as time goes on. Now I can start getting to your guys' questions. So a reminder, everyone, during these live chats, at the end of them, my fabulous moderators have gone through and pulled names from people who've commented or questioned and helped keep the stream going. So comments and questions that I reply to, basically. Those all go on a list, and then I get a random number generator, the one on my phone, and we count down. Okay, there were 42 people who helped keep this live chat rolling. T42, and then I pick off 5 names and I re-roll if it clicks the same name again, guys. You don't win 2 in 1 month. And I pick 5 people, and then I message them on Twitch, asking basically which coin you want and where I'm shipping it to. Normally, I get that done within 36 hours, depending on the day. Like today, this is early, so I'll probably get to it late this afternoon, later tonight. But if I do one that's like at 8 o'clock at night and I'm dead and I went to bed, then I get to it the next day. But normally within 24, 36 hours, I have messaged people, and I try to get that information as quickly as I can so I can get those coins actually sent out in some kind of timely manner. However, if you don't reply to those messages in a timely manner, I have had people not reply to me for like 6 to 9 months. And at this point, I'm going to start putting a cap on that. If you don't reply within like 3 months, then I'm just basically gonna zero it out on you. I don't want to, but I figure it takes all of 3 minutes to open up Twitch, look at messages, and then type in the little bit of information I need. I think 3 months is more than enough time to get around to that. So make sure to check your messages like tomorrow. So, tomorrow morning, tomorrow afternoon, the day after that, sometime in a timely manner, please. And then I will see about getting all those filled out, signed, and then try to get them shipped within a week or so. This way, people get their coins. It's which one of the things some of you are here for is you want to be able to, get like a full set of coins. I've had one fan, one non-moderator, one non-officer from my stuff actually win enough over the years because I've been doing these for like 6. No, it's been more than 6. Like 7-ish years where I've been giving coins out. So we've had at least one fan collect the full set. And I mean the full set, including the Shinhofen Books one. So, and then I know some of you guys have never won once, but you can't win if you don't participate. So, thank you, Bob. Thank you, Bob. Nine more days for new Audible. Oh yes, thank you very much. I did forget that, of course, Heavenly Chaos 4 audio is up on pre-order. It goes live on the 24th. You could see it there scrolling on the bottom part of the screen. I did fail on one of the many bits of information I was supposed to pass along. Only 2 or 3 more books. That would require some series skips to cleanse an entire known galaxy. And once they've dealt with enough clearing planets, you should really have a good idea of how that would progress. I don't think I need to show every planet being cleansed. I think you would have a pretty good idea. And after a certain point, it's not like it's going to be just Xander's crew doing that kind of thing. So, yeah, any of the long-term series guys, anything that's got a major a big arc to it is always going to have some time skips. I try to set up a routine or pattern before time skips happen. This way you have an idea of, yes, today is going to be kind of like yesterday, kind of like the day before. Aethers is going to see that a lot here coming up. Heavenly Chaos has seen bits of it, smaller bits, because they were going through the academy. And as they step off the world at the end of book 4, you're going to see more of those time skips happen as that series goes on too, because you're going to have a very good idea of how they conduct themselves in any given time. I can't elaborate further until 5 comes out. So that is, Magnus. That is the problem with doing even months. Is there's always that question of, is this real? It is indeed real. Rereading the AG series, and I was wondering if the mission from the priest where Alvin originally wanted to be a paladin. So the aborted version of Apocalypse Gates, where Alvin decided he wanted to stay and help everyone, what was more in depth than it being like, oh hey, this is one quest that triggered things. No, the personality just didn't go the way it was supposed to be. was a pretty radical departure from, well, through most of it, but especially once he stepped into the world outside of the missions. So once he was basically through the training tutorial area, that's when things really shifted. And I went back and I made sure Alvin became the asshole he was supposed to be. See, that title gives me serious theory that has even more serious implications. Okay, well, I mean that is entirely up to you. I will I will not tell you what you should think. You can imagine what you wish. When you're writing Aethers, do you come up with the title before writing or during the process? A little bit of A, a little bit of B. It depends. Sometimes I know the title going into something. Other times I finished it and I'm like, fuck, I need to title this and get a cover. So it really depends. The unintended consequences of your actions. You have a book out on April 1st and can't even say April Fools. I actually I've never been a big fan of April Fools. I am not enamored with the idea of practical jokes and trying to trick people. Maybe that's because I am a very literal individual. I don't like tricks. I don't like playing them. I detest them on me. I want life to be very understandable, which of course is never going to happen. So somebody deliberately making that harder is something I don't enjoy. If you had an open slot in your book rotation, what would be the concept of the story that would take that spot? I have like 4 stories that I've been tinkering with in the background. So yes, we'll see if any of them claim a spot. I don't know. We will find out eventually. For the first time in months, I managed to catch your chat. The time difference has really been mean recently. That's why I do them at different times, Breg. That's why I do them, at 8 o'clock in the morning. I do them at noon. I do them at 3 in the afternoon. I do them at 6 at night. I try to spread things out so people across the world or just with odd work schedules have a chance of at least occasionally catching one. So, which is why I am here at 8 a.m. today doing this. I woke up a little over an hour before this started, which was enough time to, feed the cats, get breakfast, make sure the coffee was brewed, um, and then clear up odds and ends before starting this. Probably one of the reasons why my words were so difficult to arrange at the start. I mean, words are hard anyway. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, I really stumbled pretty badly during the first 5 minutes of this. Looking forward to seeing those that go to RPG Con. I am set with the hotel. Hope it has AC, and I mean, it very damn well should have air conditioning. Most hotels in the United States do, I would think. Um, I know that the they said what hotel was going up. I don't think they've released the room block to the public yet, but I know that they have at least informed um, the attending panelists and stuff. The Holiday Inn Express was reported to be without AC last year. I would have left. I mean, I'm sorry, but if I show up at a hotel and there's no AC, my answer is I ain't staying. I I live in the desert. I can't live without AC. I'm not going somewhere else and living without AC. That'd be like showing up someplace in the north during the dead of winter and then having them go, "Yeah, our heater's out. I'm leaving. You will give me a full refund since you do not have the the right accommodations for me. What about the coins? So lazy person, I have what are technically um, book coins. They are each tied to each series, and then I have the Shinhoven Books coin, which is my overall coin, which has a dirty, filthy harem author on it. Um, uh, and I made them up because one of my fans was ex-military, and he said I told you guys earlier, words were hard. He had asked if I had ever thought about doing something like challenge coins. So that's what I did. I have a series of coins now, one for each book series. Then I pick 5 people during every monthly live chat and message them and ship them coins. And yes, I ship everywhere across the world, even when it costs me $60 to ship them. You guys are my fans. You support me. I will make sure that I give you the thing that you want. You only thing you guys have to pay is if there are duty and fees on your ends, because I have to ship them as packages, because the postal services frown upon me sending single metal coins as mail. Those are the rules. I don't make them, I just abide by them. I've had too many returned to me as normal mail to do anything but ship them as a package now. Um, so that every month during my live chats, I pick 5 people who've helped keep the live chat rolling by asking questions or commenting that I talk to, like this, and then you on the list. I roll a random number generator, pick 5 people, send them messages, send them coins. In May and October, I have my big anniversaries. I have my October um, uh, first published date anniversary, which is going to be 10 years this October 3rd, which is funny because it was a year before that. It would be 11 years since I finished writing the first book. And then I sat on it for a year and edited badly and badly and badly. So I have my first published date, October 3rd, which will be 10 years this year. And then in May, I have my going full time anniversary, which is at 9 years this year, I believe. I'd have to go back and look. There's a reason why I have to start keeping spreadsheets for shit. I don't track out a lot, but some things I have to. So I hope that answers that question. I know I rambled on that one for a little bit. Considering Aether's Band is coming up in a couple of weeks, how is Heavenly Chaos writing going? I finished it. It's with the editors. It's going to go through the editing process, through my team of editors, then to my beta readers, then to my editors again. And I will put up a pre-order once I have all that done, which is normally sometime the month before the book publishes. I have highly considered basically doing what everyone else does and putting up the next pre-order when the current book is going to publish. So like AR12 is coming up on April 1st. It honestly would probably work better from a pre-order standpoint if I threw up the pre-order for 13, so that was there. So when you finished reading book 12 and it flashes up at the end, hey, there's another book in this series. Would you like to pre-order it? It's there for you. I haven't done that because I really hate putting up pre-orders if I don't have the full finished version in my hand. Because I don't like that. It's basically a promise that doesn't have any weight behind it. Um, but honestly, with the number of questions I get from people who are asking if series are done because Amazon says there's 12 of 12 books of the series, it probably would make sense if it said there were 13 book in the series, but book 13 was on pre-order, because at least then they would know that, hey, there's at least one more book coming. Um, it's something I've been considering more and more, and I have not gotten to the point where I'm going to do it yet. But yeah, it's something I got to look at. Going on the comment on Facebook, I think we need a parody scene of Greg and his wives playing a concert. I mean, if you want to make one up in your head, you feel Feel free, Breg. I won't stop you from imagining that at all. I ain't writing it. Artron Sticks, could you expound on the vampire relationship dynamic a bit more? Novella stepping away seemed abrupt. So, I'm not going to expand on that because that's book 6, and book 6 audio isn't out yet. However, if you want to come back to that after book 6 audio comes out, yes, I can expand on it, but I you know what? No, I can expand on it here. I'm not going to get into the deeds, and I'm not going to call out specific names. The company will run just fine without her. It has for months. She's proven that. She is not making new tech to sell. Her company is basically just in charge of manufacturing existing models of something. The newest things on the block, both at least partially pay Xander for the fact that he was involved in their development, which was the particle shotgun and the ejector seat. How to say this? She made her company on being the only person, basically, well, one of the only people out on that area of space who can manufacture things that every ship needs if they're going to fight in Toma. Her second has been running it just fine since she left to go to the assembly with everyone, leaving her second in charge of continuing to run that business so she can be near the people she calls family. Is it abrupt? I don't know, maybe, but if you've never had a loving family before, and now you understand a dynamic and it's something you want more of, and it's not really going to impact you anything negatively. So, mm. What setting will the book that replaces Heavenly Chaos be set in? I have no idea. Heavenly Chaos is the series least close to finish. It is the one that has the most time left on it. So, yeah. Antecedents will go first. Aethers would probably follow that, then Heavenly Chaos. In current series of order of what's going to finish when. Of course, that does require that when I do finish Antecedents and whatever comes after that, if it, is a complete and utter bomb like Resurrection Quest, then that would probably finish before Aethers. But we'll see. Oh, okay. See, I answered the question and didn't look at the follow up. There are a couple of different things that like I said, I've been working on. I am not willing to say that it's going to be one thing or another. I also had a very special project that will be getting more information after we finish the Kickstarter stuff for Aethers, because you can only have one Kickstarter active at a time until you've proven the fact that you can fulfill your Kickstarters. So, seeing that Lit RPG Con is only 3 days, any chance of maybe a Zoom or Discord live feed? No, not from me. All of my bandwidth will be eaten up with the fact that I am going to be basically standing behind a table, trying to be personable. Yep. That's why I have no spoons at the end of a convention. How does it feel to have a popular Kickstarter that was back pretty quickly? My fans are amazing, Magnus. 100% purely you guys who all jumped on that. It was an expensive Kickstarter, let's be honest. I mean, the books were not cheap. The box sets were definitely not cheap. So reaching and funding that as quickly as it happened is still 100% you guys. Um, once that finishes, once everything comes in, everything's packed up, everything's shipped out to the fans, then to me it will feel complete. Until then, it's unmet obligations, which is something that sits in the back of my mind and it just kind of keeps pushing the button of, are you done yet? Are you done yet? So it's one of those things. The fact that everyone wanted the special edition of Aethers is oddly gratifying. I blame Jen Bean for basically making that all happen, and then the auxiliary around her in Jay motherfucking Taylor, Nick the Neeb Coons, and Gino Big Mo. I blame all of them for making that shit happen because I wouldn't have done it myself. Something I have no head for. Space superiority. I am sure that was timely at the time it was sent, but since I run behind, I don't know. I have no idea in the least. With Antecedents Endgame, I'm guessing it'll come down to momentum. Once they have it, it'll be easier. I mean, we will see together, guys. Could I drag Antecedents into like another 5 books? Yes, but it would end up being a lot of the same thing for a chunk of those. Look, it's another planet. They're going to clear. Look, it's another planet. They're going to clear. And I dislike that sequence. It the books that will take one fight scene and make it 3 chapters long. And it's basically the same way you've seen the main character fight for the other 10 books in the series. Just maybe he has one new trump card. But for 3 chapters, we'll follow that entire fight. I skim those. If I know how the main character fights, I don't need every backflip twist described to me. We've seen for 10 books how this character fights. Tell me that he's fighting like he always does. Maybe 1 or 2 paragraph snippets of something that was amazing, and then get to the end game where the new trump card is being shown, so we have an idea of what the fuck that is. But 3 chapter fight scenes are something that grind me into dust when I'm a reader. It's one of the reasons I try to stay away from them as a writer. The only time I normally show a fight scene is if it's a new opponent. So, okay, we don't know how this guy's going to react, because that does change how a combat sequence flows. I remember seeing something about being into KU style audiobooks now. Yeah, I'm assuming something in there got auto corrected. I remember seeing something about and to KU style audiobooks. That's supposed to be an AI KU style audiobooks. I have no idea about the program. I don't use AI. I refuse to use it currently. And KU style audiobooks. Oh, okay, so you're talking. Yeah, that's so ACX is they had the romance program is what it was called originally, and I don't know what they've rebranded it as, but it was basically you can check out a book and listen to it without buying it. And I have no idea how that program works. I've never opted any of my books into it. But honestly, from everything I know, it basically ran off the idea of, hey, you'll get paid a percentage of what that program brings in, kind of like KU does, except that program also has books that Amazon owns all rights to in it, or sorry, Audible owns all rights to in it, which means that they're paying themselves out of the same pool. And of course, their books get more attention because why wouldn't they promote their own stuff? I have a lot of problems with the idea of that and quite a few other things. But no, I'm not. I have no idea because I've never been part of that program. In the last Heavenly Chaos book, am I wrong in thinking they were still awaiting judgment on one of their court cases? Um, so Heavenly Chaos 4 audio isn't out yet. There are things in Heavenly Chaos 4. Um, I don't want to answer that question at the moment because I actively would have to dredge through my entire memory of what sequences happened there as compared to like the end of 3. Plus, once I know that's supposed to be Xander. Xander gets the process down. He can pass that stuff off to other people and have it take care of their millions of pilots in the galaxy. Well, once the Terrans get up to speed and start rolling, yes, Rocket. Um, most other races don't have the same overbearing drive to breed that humanity does, and some of them just literally can't have children that fast. I mean, after all, we have one, all of one dragon who has been selected by an AI, which tells you that their race is probably 10,000 or less, just off of the average. So, with what Xander might be doing, you might want to be able to call him Admiral Greaves, except he doesn't work for the assembly. He is not an assembly pilot. He is a mercenary pilot. If he was an assembly pilot, would he be a captain in his own right? Um, well, he has the qualifications for it now, um, but honestly, he doesn't play well with stupidity. So yeah, that would probably not happen. There, he would be mired in so much red tape. Safe to assume there will be a book dedicated to the Dwarven homeworld liberation, one for fracturing of the known order. Artron, we will see what my characters tell me. I am just going off of what I believe in my head at the moment. I have been wrong many, many times. My this will be 2 to 3 more books. This is the minimum I think it'll take me to finish the series and be happy with it. What my characters do to me between now and then is a whole nother question. I will thank you on behalf of Paul Navdeep. Um, he has been doing a chunk of my cover work of late. He does Heavenly Chaos and Antecedents currently. In other words, you brought out Alvin's inner asshole. Yes, I did. He was supposed to be a fucking goddamn asshole from the start. Like I said, things were rapidly were different in that aborted storyline. So yeah, that's probably going back to that. There are evil paladins that serve dark gods. I mean, in 5e, yeah. If you go back to the early editions of D&D, no. Even the fucking goddamn evil gods, paladins had to be lawful good, which makes no goddamn sense. It'll be interesting to see what AL after the bugs are gone. What will the pilots? Um, I don't know. I don't know how much time after that sequence of events we'll get from Xander. Remember, I'm just an after action reporter, so I prefer causing many minor inconveniences rather than practical jokes. Minor inconveniences are a type of practical jokes for some people. For people like me who very much rely on things being standard quo. My autism specifically is this is my routine. If you fuck with it, you're gonna blow up my entire day. A minor inconvenience is not funny. It's aggravating as shit. So what might be a minor inconvenience to you can rapidly become a major inconvenience to me. Say there are 2, 3 books at nail. Do you already have the next series on deck? Are you going to go down to? No, I will never drop the 2 books. SB. I have like I said, I have a few other things I've been working on in the background. It'd be easy enough to take one and turn it around. At the moment, I have two series, not the special project that I did, where there's a fully the a fully finished book one, and then I have at least 2 others that are like 60 to 80,000 words in. So something will happen. My moderator is laughing at me only writing 2 series a year too. I am not sure if 3 is sustainable for me. I work best off of the routine that I had built. 3 looks at the moment like it's going to be fine, but I might end up going back to 4. I don't know yet. The name Aster in Heavenly Chaos 4, was that a nod to Path of Ascension with the fox also being Aster? You mean the sister to the chef named Matthew Alexander that got introduced in book 2? I don't know. That's a conundrum. Who could say? I I would think it was fairly obviously a nod to Path of Ascension, but if you don't believe so, then it's not. I will know by the end of the year, Brig. Until the end of the year, I do not know if I am going to stay with 3 books or go back to 4. This year will tell me that. I am finally starting to get through. I have barely basically made it through one full rotation as a 3 book series rotation, 3 series rotation. So I will know by the end of the year if it's staying in 3 series or going to 4 series. We'll see together. Nope, I can't answer them all at once. That is correct. I am slow, pedantic. I write 1 chapter a day. Other authors blaze like 10,000 words out in a day. I think I've done that once in my entire 10 plus years of writing. Um, and it was coincidentally when I was doing the rewrite to Apocalypse Gates. Probably because I had a really good grasp of what that story was supposed to be. Um, Outside of that, I've hit 6,000 words like a dozen times maybe over that same time span. Um, so I write 1 chapter a day though, about 2,000 words. That's my minimum goal for a day. There are days that I write 2 chapters a day. Um, Depends on what else is going on in life around that same time. But 1 chapter a day is my goal. But it is every day. There are authors who don't who look at me, excuse me, who look at me like I'm insane because I do write every day. You can get that cough drop in there, and maybe my throat will feel like it's not going to break on me. If you could have a fantasy world pet, what would you pick? Something that could has opposable thumbs that could take care of itself. Um, I love animals. I love puppos. I love cats. Um, I don't want to take care of them anymore. Now, I have two cats in this house. They're my girlfriend's cats. We have the lizard, my girlfriend's lizard. Um, but I myself do not own an animal anymore. So I don't know if I would want a fantasy world pet. He who fights with monsters, there are gods of undeath and destruction. They're complete evil. Yeah, and you have that in a lot of series. But once again, you're at that point you're going to break down by what rules the universe works and so on and so forth. So now Deep knows I have shipped to him. He's one of I think the only individual who lives in the country he lives in that I've shipped to. And I am not divulging that information. Where he lives is up to him. I will not tell people. Any advice for Lit RPG Con? What to bring, special things to see, how late do people hang out and do stuff at the con, do events, and authors do their own things like meetups. Um, so I don't know. I am a very insular person. I don't expand out well. I like sitting in a cave by myself. So I don't know, like people were hanging out long after I went to bed because I go to bed at a fairly early-ish time considering like 9-10 o'clock, guys. I'm like, I'm tired, I'm gonna go to bed. Why? Because my body's gonna wake me up at 5 in the morning regardless, and I would like to at least be somewhat rested, especially if I have the people. um, whether or not authors, I don't know if authors were doing their own meetups and stuff. I know that there were um, uh, signings and stuff that happened, but I don't remember anything specifically that was like its own meetup for a specific author and whatnot. Um, things to see. It's downtown Denver, so I mean you could check that out and see what is in the area that you would like. Um, things to bring: your tickets, yourself. Make sure you have your reservations. I would say bring a pen. Sometimes authors' pens die, and if you want to get things signed, bringing your own pen is never a bad idea. Just in case there is a technical difficulty, then it's not you being put out, because you'll be like, here, you can borrow this to sign that for me. Um, from the amount and number and breadth of different people coming to the Lit RPG Con. There are a lot of other narrators coming this time. A lot of different authors are coming in this time. Um, it looks like it's growing in its own way. So the feeling though was very much hey, this is where the Lit RPG fans are. This is where the authors are. It was very much a community feel. Um, so, and I am Italian. I'm Italian, so I'm gesturing with my hands now. Um, I don't know about advice. Just come and have a good time, honestly. But I am a terrible person for advice. There is a Discord for Lit RPG Con, so I would point you towards that. Maybe somebody there could actually answer that question because I know that I'm kind of shit. No, Darth, I have shipped $60 for one coin for one person before. Shipping a package to Europe will run me anywhere from, I think $18 was the cheapest, to like 60 to one very specific individual. So it happens, and in the U.S., it's I have to send it. If I could just send it as mail, it'd be like $3 because it's non-machinable. I can't. I have to send it as package, so it's like $8 in the U.S. And that's fine. I don't care. I want to give back to you guys. That's why I do this. That's why I give the things away. I have Mando coins from Star Wars and some coins from basic training. Yeah. If you go to Discord, Facebook, I don't know. I don't know if I have one stapled to Patreon. But my FAQs on Discord and the featured, I think it is on Facebook, will have has pictures of the sets, and it's front and back, so you can see both sides of them. And it's basically one for every series. So if you want to get a look at them, just in case you are one of the lucky chosen, go and look that. And guys, make sure I can send you messages on Twitch. If I try to contact you and it says this person does not receive messages, then you're never going to get a message from me. Just saying. Funny how that might happen. Mm-hmm. 10-year anniversary. Thank you, Quillen. I appreciate that. It's going to be October 3rd. That's my 10-year published. I don't know if I am doing anything above and beyond what I normally do. I really need to figure that out soonish. Because I like to have everything in place before things happen. But I probably should do something. I just don't know what yet. That is the main reason why I keep spreadsheets is character names. Yes, character names, descriptions, making sure I put descriptions in for characters. There was you know what, guys? I will be right back. I'll be right back. Sorry, medications. I keep I keep a spreadsheet of character names and appearance information because it goes all the way back to Alpha World. Um, for the simple fact that I never described Fluff enough. She was White Tiger, and I never mentioned the fact that she was white. I just said that you could see her blush through the thinning fur. And I had fan art, and they was like, "This is Fluff," and she had orange tiger fur, and I went and looked through my books, and I realized I never said it was white. Yeah. So I try to be a little bit more proactive on some descriptions now, and I make sure I write those down. Yeah. So. I mean, it really all depends on whether or not you want stories about being sat on you. It's the only stories this chair could tell you. Is this the last book with Podium? Antecedent 6 is the last book with Podium. After that, it'll be going back to just me and Andy, which means the turnaround time will be faster. So that is one plus for going back to me and Andy doing stuff. Aethers has never been part of Podium, so that the audio from this will act. The audio from Aethers 12 has a chance of coming out before the audio from Antecedent 6. We'll say that. We'll see how fast Podium turns around AL6, but we'll see. You've been consistent enough with release dates by now. It wouldn't be risky for. It's not risky for you. It's the way my brain works. Telling somebody I'm going to do something puts a firm "you have to complete this" on me, and I have kind of that anyway, but it would be even more intense. So that's why I'm leery. And that's why I'm leery, Quillen. That right there. I never want to be the guy who's like, hey, here's the pre-order. There's a problem. We're going to shove that date back even further. Bringing the date forward is one thing. Shoving a date back is another. The pre-order idea seems more plausible since you reduced the number of booze in the rotation. I'm assuming books, not booze, though. I mean, the way some people review my books, you would think it was booze. You could always do a comment at the end of the book. I mean, yeah, I could, but if you've read through the end of whatever the latest book was, you would kind of know that because the book doesn't end on a point where you're like, oh, is that the end? So, I'm not sure that kind of line would actually do anything. Keep it the way you have. Honestly, I follow some authors that have 12 to 20, 12, 20, and they're writing 13 on their Patreons. So sure, we know they plan to have a bunch of books, but it's still odd for me. They'll set dates. Causes, like I said, having the pre-order for the next one is something that just helps perpetuate the series. People won't forget about it. Oh, because I pre-ordered that, and you won't have to think about it again. Having set pre-orders for 7 books in the future, unless they've finished writing that on Royal Road or something already, and they're just basically doing like another editing pass before they publish them, that no, I could never. Can't do it. That's a reference. I don't know. I don't know Gabe Newell. Kickstarter scheduled May 26th. At the moment, Dragon, yes. At the moment. See, she's already there. I really should look at like the next starred thing in line on some of these. Heavenly Chaos will stay a triad. Period. End of story. I can absolutely tell you this without any equal without it. I know the word that I was going to say, and then I failed to be able to say it. Heavenly Chaos will be a triad. Ben has no interest outside of the two women in his life. So no, there will not be more. $10 says the next series involves a harem. Brian, that would be a bet that you would win 99.999999999% of the time. There has been one book out of the 60 plus that I've written that has not been harem, and that was Resurrection Quest. That could be why that book was so abysmal. I don't know. It was also right around the same time when everybody was losing their jobs because of COVID. And I was told mostly that the cast was too large at the start of it for people. So slowly in progress. That is the update on the cookbook. Slowly, methodically, pedantically, glacially in progress. Halo, I think you could still get in currently for the late on the Aethers. The surveys. There you go. Still good to the end of the month. So if you want in on Aethers, you can get there. Go do it. The next one is a special project, and I've been holding off everything. Some individuals who were always over on Andy's Discord um, got to hear it because she had recorded the audio for me already. I would already have that other Kickstarter up, except I can't. So I know you say you're not sure how many books may be left in the series. How far along is Aethers? Because I know that what time skips and stuff are coming, I would say we're at least halfway, if not more than. There was always a longer build up to the series. There was always going to be a longer build up before a hard routine because he had to get through all of the obligations to the Empire first. Now he is beholden to his clan, and his clan is still beholden to the Empire, which you'll get more of. They've talked about it in 11 and before, but you'll see more of that in 12 going forward. But it's going to be very much a this is your posting, and probably not a whole lot happening here for a while. So there's going to be swaths of time that I can be like, X years past, nothing of note has happened, kind of thing. So are you going to do some time after the Entombed gone? The natural things happen when the group of vastly different people end up in conflict with each other and no longer have common enemy or alliance with them. I will write the end of the story that Xander tells me is the end of the story, lazy person. I do not plot. I do not plan. I am an after action reporter. I tell you what my characters tell me. So do. Okay, we threw the Kickstarter up. If you honestly, if you just go to Kickstarter and you type in Aether's Blessing, it'll pop up. I'm not sure if it pops up if you do Shinhofen. I'm gonna go find out. I am curious now. I am going to go check. Nope, can't do that. Gonna get in trouble. Gotta remember. Yeah, if you type in my last name, it pops right up. Boop. Yep, sure enough. All right. Make sure I don't close out what I'm using. Would have been funny. Gods. Okay. Okay. Yeah. 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 Get monthly updates. Want to make sure the shadow box ready for the book. I would start moving on getting your shadow box ready. Honestly, too many repeats equals boring, death and sales. I mean, yes, technically. I know I have dropped a number of series because they felt like it was, like I said, the same fight scene across three, two, three books that came back to back to back. It was basically the same fight scenes, just repeated. Um, and as I always tell people, if you don't like the story anymore, it's okay to set it down. Don't read something you're not interested in. It's fine, guys. We all get to a point where we're just like, the series doesn't really click anymore. Don't force yourself to read if it's not something you like. I'm pretty sure Xander, by the end of 6, for those people who are waiting on audio, um, has reached the culmination of his journey on wifedom. So Xander's the incarnation to play stupid games, win stupid prizes. I mean, kinda, yeah. There are times he is not quite willing to let people take their time getting there, though. We will find out together in time. Follow-up audiobook question. As an Amazon Prime member, I get ads telling me I can listen to some audiobooks for free as part of my Prime membership. Is this something you might do? Or there are. I get emails from them asking if I would like to basically enroll my book for a 90-day period into Prime like that. And by and large, I let them. I fill out their form and like, yes, for 90 days, people on Prime can go and listen to this for free. Most of the time, it's first book of a series, which is great. Pull more people into the series. Every once in a while, they ask for the last book I published, and those are the ones where I'm like, no. Or they'll ask for book 3 of book 12, and I'm like, no, because you can't just jump into. You would be very lost if you jumped into like book 4 of Aethers. This is the first book you've read, book 4 of Aethers. You'd be fucking lost. Are any of the multiple worlds seen in Lux voice explored in other series? I mean, I normally don't do crossovers, Shrub. So, no. I'm playing a second edition game in 20 minutes that has been going on for 30 years at least. And you would be one of the rare few, Al. One of the rare few who's had a D&D game going on that long. Do you meet regularly? Do you meet like once a month or more? Would be the next question. Because that's when it gets really odd. Because most games fail because trying to get everyone together in the same place at the same time starts being a problem. And no, that's just sloppy writing, in my opinion. Especially when it has been said repeatedly that they are just a working of the antecedents. He would be court martial. Will we get anything from the Emperor's perspective in AR? No, I really hate giving villains time on screen. I dislike it when like Weber does it. I dislike it when any author does it. I don't want to know what the bad guy is doing. I want the main character to find out when the main character gets there. Heavenly Chaos is the first time I've really shown you guys perspective away from the main character's point of view. But I wouldn't give you perspective from a villain's point of view. I'm not trying to redeem or show a human side to my villains. You can thank Gary Gygax for the lawful good paladin, and that's fine. But there was a what I considered a vast problem with that for like evil gods. Honestly, paladins should be lawful neutral. Their law should be the dictates of their church, and that is the one thing they should adhere to fanatically. Outside of that, they should be good or evil, as the person is. The only thing they should absolutely adhere to is the dictates of their god. That's my opinion. I have not had that kind of issue, Bob. Um, when people mention writer's block, they talk about not being able to write for like a number of days. If for whatever reason I sit down to write, my characters are just like, "Fuck you, we're not talking today." I go play a game for a little while. I go for a walk, talk to the girlfriend, pet the cats. I get my chapter done every day. There has been 2 times where I've sat down and forced through a chapter and then deleted it the next day, but I've never had what I would consider a true writer's block. Pulling teeth from my characters to get a chapter done. I've done it. Could I though? I mean, who could say about that really? No offense, Daniel, but you will stay with a 3-book rotation until a really loud book starts drop kicking the inside of your skull. I'll write it at that point, Outlaw. That doesn't mean it'll get added to the rotation. It just means I might have, 3, 4 books of that series done, ready to be the next thing in rotation. Have you considered that? Mm-hmm. I am lucky if I can do 10K words a week. I think it's more I have a full-time job, suck up all the time. Greg, when I was still working full-time, um, I would still get a chapter done a day. Does it eat up the time when you're not working? Does it make things a little tighter for personal time and space? Yes. Um, but it's doable. Sometimes it means you just have to sacrifice something else to do it. You sacrifice the time that you would unwind to watch a TV show. You sacrifice the time to play a game or to read. I lost all of my reading time when I was still working and writing. So if you write 1 chapter a day, do you stick with 1 book and write 1 chapter a day until it's finished, or do you skip two different books every day? I write whatever book is the book that I am writing. So the next Aethers, the next Heavenly Chaos, the next Antecedents. That is the chapter a day that I have to write. After that, if I write a second chapter, it'll either be a second chapter of that, or it'll be one of the other things that I'm working on in the background. So, but I am not writing a chapter of Aethers and a chapter of Heavenly Chaos. I hope that clarifies. I can see the benefits to a 4-series rotation, but that would mean a longer time before I see what's coming next in your books, and I'm barely holding it together now. It would mean every 8 months instead of every 6. You are correct. That's what it was before. I mean, 8 months is still far faster than anything traditionally published. Hell, it's still faster than a good chunk of indie authors. Um, but if you only want one specific series, yes, it would increase the time you wait for that specific series. You would get at least one book a year, and every other year you would end up with 2 books. So, just done moving the first round. 36-hour blizzard and you're moving? Oof. Struggles. Your name is real for that. Good gods. Besides cons, have you been recognized in public? Yeah, there were fans who lived in my small town of Pahrump. Um, last I ran into them, they were fixing to move. Um, uh, one of them worked at the local Walmart, or was it both of them? No, at least one of them worked at the local Walmart, and recognized the Alpha Company T-shirts way back in the day when I first had those made up. So yes. Outside of that, no. I am not. I am not a big name. I am not. I'm not a Sanderson. I'm not a Rowling. I'm not a Martin. I'm not. No one. No one's gonna see me on the street or going into a movie theater and be like, oh. I mean that's the shit that nah. What is special about Lit RPG Con? What they did last year was set up tables. First people to do one-shot TTRPGs. Andy's did Dagger's Heart last year. They will have gaming. I know there have been words are hard, and there will be authors and narrators who are going to be running games and will be part of. We'll jump into other people's games. Um, so there is that. I will not be running any games. I don't have the bandwidth to actually run a game anymore. I don't even run a game for my friends here anymore. My brain just doesn't have the processing power anymore to continue doing so. The ogre arrives, pretends humans are tolerable for 8 hours, retreats to his cave. It's more like 12 hours, Arch, because I still get up at like 5 every day. Wait for breakfast, normally around 7-ish. Go have breakfast with friends. Go to the con. Get everything organized again for whatever's going on. Con opens, spend the entire time till the con closes doing con stuff. Get dinner with friends, and then go pass out. But honestly, it's about 10 to 12 hours every day where I'm either behind a table or on a panel having to people. For a deeply introverted person, that is rough. But I do it because it's one of the ways I give back to fans. After a certain time, I pretend I am Daniel and sign stuff in our name. I mean, yeah, that wouldn't surprise me. That wouldn't surprise me at all. Comfy shoes for a con. You do want comfortable shoes. You are going to be walking around. Yes, I would stay away from anything that is uncomfortable especially in the shoe department. For those people who are cosplaying in one way, shape, or form, sometimes you sacrifice for art. But I always suggest that you have a pair of comfortable shoes. So when you have come to the point where you can no longer do the art comfortably, you can change. Do you ever get tired or bored writing a book or series? There have been at least 3 different occasions where I had started something and did not finish it. And it wasn't so much boredom. I just didn't have the characters weren't as clamory for me to write them outside of what I was also writing. So, I mean, I still have the 50,000 words or whatever each of those stories gave me. Could I go back, reread through them, and then pick up that thread? Yes. Will I? Probably not. If the characters weren't clamory enough to get me to finish off what I had started, then no, I probably wouldn't. Early in the morning, the cats are both asleep, normally. If they're not tearing through the house at high speeds, they're asleep. The rubber band Gatling gun I got, but it was a letdown. The rubber band Tommy gun and rubber band AK-47 are much better. Luckily, my girlfriend has told me she would not shoot me with rubber bands, so I am safe from that. You had me at Andy. I mean, Andy gets a lot of people at Andy. Let's be fair. She is a very talented and dedicated narrator, and I am lucky that she works with me. No, it's because they have hundreds of different authors they work with, and they try to space things out along their entire catalog. It's not just because I am an indie author, because they work a lot with indie authors. See, there you go. Another answer. Plus, you put a release date, and then if you don't finish the book by then, you have to push the release date out further. I had a series like 3 times, and then I dropped that series, which is one of the reasons I don't want to do that kind of thing. But I am fairly consistent. 1 star, there was sex in this book, reviewing a harem romance. Actually, no, it's more normally along the lines of the characters talk too much about how they love each other. This was too emotionally sappy for me. Those those are normally my 1 star reviews. And I get them on like book 9, and I'm like, okay. He's not Vanilla Ice. He doesn't do the if you have a problem, I will solve it. I have my sister visiting to take my mom shopping. See you later, Zinal. I think I'm getting to the end of comments finally. Maybe. One benefit of publishing books is sometimes, occasionally, some of their books go on sale. I've waited years for buying a couple of books from several of the self-published books to finish the series when the rest of the series was on sale. Fair enough, Darth. He is the founder of Valve Steam. Fair enough. But he brought an idea and platform that was not there first. Um, Lavella didn't do that same thing. I should clarify. If he types like he talks today, I get why he pities his editors. And my editors understand why I pity them too. They handle my roughs. So when you guys are reading Patreon and you find, like a typo or two in there, that's after it's been through 2 editors normally. You wouldn't like my roughs. No, we're not talking about that yet. Being full on wives doesn't mean he doesn't have room for concubines. It kind of does. Kind of does. I haven't I haven't really had a main character who's been like, so yeah, I love these wives, but I'm also going to have these 12 side pieces. That no, if you're emotionally invested with them, you wouldn't leave them there. The only time that becomes something that would happen would be the system setting. And none of my system settings have been that way. I want to be funny and refute the statement about him being done with wives. but I won't spoil things. I mean, I said at the end of book 6. So, are you still playing BattleTech? No, my friend and I would rather spend the few hours we see each other on Tuesdays watching anime and having food. So we do that instead. He's he him and his eldest friend had their falling out over the whole BattleTech thing, and we have not played really since then. Have you tried Pathfinder or Starfinder? I hated the original Pathfinder. When you end up in a grapple for 3 hours, one entire long combat, and all you do is I break out of the grapple. Oh, good, I'm grappled again. I break out of the grapple. Oh, good, I'm grappled again. The system kind of loses a lot of luster. I have played, I think, 3 games of Starfinder. It was fine. I don't have anything. Um, I don't have the bandwidth to run a game, and there are very few people in the area where I live who are running a game, and none on the days and times that would work for me. At the moment, Arctic, I have been poking around on Stardew just for helping decompress between chapters. Um, and I have recently picked up Final Fantasy 1 through 6 on Steam because nostalgia, and I'm probably going to burn through those in the near future. I have a couple of other games that I'm waiting for them to get out of early access on. Stellasis, is it Stellasis 2? Whatever. There's an RPG. It just went into early access. I am going to wait for it to come out of early access before I actually open it up and play it. And then I have a couple other games on my wish list that I'm waiting for. And I'll probably end up doing what I do with most of them, which is play them for about 20 hours, get a good feel of the game, and then decide whether or not it's something I want to keep. And that's what I need to hear. Is it still possible? Not to have excuses not to write while I have a 9 to 5. Yeah, it all comes down to, do you have the motivation to do so? Are you willing to sacrifice to keep pushing? Do sales seem to be doing any better in the 3 series rotation? Um, no, they have stayed fairly even with where they were before. Um, it would be really odd if there was a sudden spike just because I went to a 3 series rotation. AR12 is in the top 10 when I got my pre-orders, so you're still doing good. Pre-orders are weird on how they track that. So for me, it depends in it's the first 48 hours once a book is quote unquote released, to see where the number lands. But honestly, for me overall, it's total profit first 30 days. Yes, my first set of shirts that were missing the R for recruits. Recruits. I don't think I have any of those anymore. I think I just have my one that I kept. If a reader is still searching for fat fodder in book 9 of a series, it's not fat fodder that they're looking for, Archron. It's the fact that the main characters are too emotionally mushy, and the story isn't progressing fast enough. And when I try to tell them that the series progressing goes at the speed the characters tell me, that doesn't seem to matter. They just want more action and less relationship. And I'm like, well, I write relationship heavy books. I'm sorry to tell you that. Will there be large time skips in Heavenly Chaos? Yeah, at some point. Eventually, yes. I do the content report thing on Kindle. Do you guys see that? So if you do the content report thing on Kindle, Eventually, it ends up churning through their AI program and gets reported to the author. And the author gets a little notification at the top of their KDP author area that says, hey, these are issues you need to fix. If you don't fix them in a timely manner, we will pull your books down from Amazon. So yes, we are eventually notified, and then we're given a timetable to get it fixed, or they'll yank our shit. If it's egregious, Archeron, like whatever you reported is something that really needs to, the author really needs to take a look at, go ahead. If it's any of my stuff, you can just DM me on Discord and be like, hey, I noticed this issue. This sentence has a problem. Because then I can just copy paste that into my Word document and be like, okay, where's this sentence? Let me see if I can fix it. So they did fix the Starfinder, improve a lot for Pathfinder 2. Yeah, and at this point I just don't have the bandwidth for playing it anymore. How goes Last Horizons? I'm rereading it again. As much as I like Heavenly Chaos, I think Last Horizons hit me more emotionally. I finished my pass. I had to find time and editor schedule, so it's not going to go through like my normal editing process. One of my editors is going to give it a pass, and then I'm probably going to either just accept that or find another not normal editor and let them give it a pass. But yeah, I finished through my read and fix. So will Aethers 2 come out as a hardcover? Possibly. And yes, Celesta too. It was the name of the game I was trying to remember. Thank you. How long are Tears and Heavenly Chaos? Like 10 through 25? How long are the Tears? I don't know. Repeat whole bets because of unintentional. Like, some gaming groups do fine with long distance play and using certain apps and programs. I would prefer being at a table. Have I done long distance play before? Yes, but it has to be people I have met and am sure can handle such a thing. My beautician, I guess, would be her actual title. Trims through my beard. I get it done once a month. Haircut, beard trim, other odds and ends. Year. So how long are the years through 10 through 25? I mean, they'd each be a year long. If you're asking how long it would take them to go through the ranks from like rank 10 to rank 25, how many years it would take to do that, I don't know. We'll find out together. They have, my main characters there have a cheat, and it gets talked about. And if it was talked about before and it gets talked about again in the next book, they progress faster than normal for a few reasons. And it'll get brought up again, and will probably get brought up again, and it'll be touched on here or there because they will progress faster than normal. And there are reasons for that. And they've been there for most of the entire series so far. And ladies and gentlemen, I have caught up to all messages. It has been a little over an hour and a half. So I want to thank you all for coming. I am done. So we will be here next time. There we go. There is the next live chat information. Make sure to check your Twitch messages like tomorrow or the day after to see if you are one of the people who won for me, please. Yeah, bedtime. It feels like it, but no, I will probably go grab whatever. What book am I currently reading? I think it's one of Bruce Centaur's. I will go grab that and sit on my sofa and zone out for probably until lunch. So probably 2 hours of just zoning, and then I will have lunch, and then I am. Ooh, actually, I'm supposed to be with my friend for lunch late today. It's Sunday. I normally get together with Sean today. Um, so I'll probably zone out till it's time to meet up with Sean for lunch and then do gaming with him. Um, I might not write a chapter today. This might be one of the rare few days I don't write because this is the time I normally write. Huh. We'll see. Make sure to check for your messages, guys. Thank you for coming. I'll see you next month. Bye bye.